Most of us have driven through a construction zone and saw the men and women working on our highways. But what are we not seeing? How does the road building process begin? What does it take to go from a concept to something concrete like a highway? Engineers, volumes of data, research, natural and human resources, technology, government agencies, lots of meetings, funding, and the public all play an integral role in going from a concept to construction of Nebraska's highway system. Building roads may seem simple, but today we'll examine the numerous behind-the-scenes processes involved in building the highways and bridges motorists rely on every day. So where does the concept begin? The concept can come from either public or government input. The Nebraska Department of Roads has a pavement optimization program, also known as the POP system. It is a database developed by our Materials and Research Division that keeps records of the condition of roads and bridges, traffic data, accident data, surface maintenance data, and even video of all state roadways. Use of the POP system allows the present and future needs of a state highway or bridge to be easily assessed, whether it be a needed road surface improvement, addition of more lanes to accommodate higher traffic volumes, or the addition of safety features to mitigate hazards. The public is an excellent source when it comes to developing roadway projects. After all, they are the users. District programming meetings are held to present information and collect input on future projects and to hear citizen concerns about current road conditions. Public input is essential, and all comments and concerns are documented. There are 8 districts in the state of Nebraska, and a review of potential new projects is completed by each one. The district engineer can initiate a project depending on the needs, priorities, and condition of the highway. To initiate a project, the district engineer completes a project initiation request online. This form provides basic information about the project, such as pavement and bridge condition, traffic data, etc., and provides the initial scope. It also gives a project name and number and readies it for an engineering review. An engineering review begins with the department's Planning and Project Development Division. Here, engineers will establish a project scope, which is a more detailed description of the project. Its purpose is to provide information needed to complete the project, determine and prepare environmental documents, utilities, and studies needed, and prepare a cost estimate. A project must be designated as a capital improvement or an asset preservation project. What's the difference? A capital improvement project is an enhancement project requiring an extended budget and time. An asset preservation project preserves and maintains the road in its current state. A project moving through the process must have a cost attached along with a defined source of available funding. A project can be funded in one of 2 ways, state or federal funding. When a project is funded by the state, it is programmed and sent off to the next step. A federally funded project requires a number of additional steps and will require more time to complete due to federal processes. Once the funding source has been identified and a class has been determined for the project, a class of action form is prepared and sent to the Federal Highway Administration, where they make additional comments and either approve or deny the form. If the project is approved by the Federal Highway Administration, it can move to corridor and location development. The Nebraska Department of Roads must consider alternative solutions for a project. This may involve looking beyond the scope of the immediate project into a wider area or corridor, which may involve multiple alternatives. The public, local agencies, and businesses are consulted during this process. The goal is to find a solution that best fits the topography, environment, and the well-being of the community. A project's impact on the environment is a crucial element. Numerous state and federal agencies are consulted and involved throughout the environmental process. Having minimal impact on the environment is and will always be the goal of the Nebraska Department of Roads. The input from other agencies and the public is reviewed, discussed, mapped, and plotted to provide the best alternatives available. Preliminary roadway design surveys are performed to provide topography and cross-sections of the proposed project area, as well as areas that may have a possibility of being impacted by the project, such as wetlands and endangered species habitats. The survey data is used to prepare simplified designs for project alternatives. The profile and alignment of a project is overlaid on a plotted map to determine how its footprint or build alternative will impact the proposed area. The environmental assessment includes the project scope, preliminary design, description of alternatives, review of the topography and cross-section surveys, discussion of the impacts found in the field inspection, and a listing of agencies and persons consulted with on the project. For large capital improvement projects, this information is compiled and presented at a local public hearing to present the project to the community. Feedback gained from the public is important in determining the best alternative and completing the preliminary design. The data compiled at this point is used in the drafting of an environmental assessment. All Nebraska Department of Roads divisions are involved in this process to ensure that information is correct and current. An on-site inspection may take place at this point, called a plan in hand. The plan or preliminary design is evaluated on-site. This allows the Nebraska Department of Roads to get a better feel for potential impacts and possible changes to the preliminary design. A local public hearing is conducted to present a major impact or capital improvement project and its build and no-build alternatives. The Nebraska Department of Roads personnel working on the project are available for questions, while comments are recorded regarding the preliminary designs and environmental findings. The information gathered at these meetings is used to make a decision on whether or not a project will move to final design and which alternative best fits an area's needs and has the least amount of impact on the environment. When a capital improvement project alternative is accepted by the public and district, the project design will be presented to the Highway Commission for approval. The Highway Commission will review and make a recommendation to the governor, who must ultimately approve the project. A final environmental statement is then prepared and sent to the FHWA for approval. During this process, right-of-way is being planned, and the Nebraska Department of Roads is applying for all appropriate permits. After receiving the finding of no significant impact, obtaining necessary permits, and all essential approvals, the final design will be completed by the Roadway Design Division. Roadway Design submits the plans, along with all permits and agreements, to the Construction Division. Specifications are added to the plans, and a letting estimate of the project's cost is determined. The plans are checked for modifications, changes, and returned to Roadway Design for any corrections or changes. A timeline for completion is determined for the project. The contracts section within the Construction Division will take all the information gathered and use it to produce a proposal for contract letting. A letting is a procedure that allows for contractors to bid on the project proposals that are ready for construction. An awards committee, comprised of the division engineers for construction, materials and research, and the 2 deputy directors for the Nebraska Department of Roads, review the bids and recommend whether or not a project should be awarded based on the required criteria and how close it comes to the letting estimate. Once a contract is awarded, the start and end date of the project is set. NDOR assigns a project manager to oversee all aspects of the project from start to finish, and the contractor and their team begins construction. Inspections and tests are made on materials, equipment, processes, procedures, anything to ensure the project is completed to the standards and regulations set by the state and the Federal Highway Administration. A project is complete once construction is finished and permanent pavement markings, signage, and landscaping are installed. The Nebraska Department of Roads is a proud leader in safety and service. It's what you don't see. Many years of preparation, many detailed processes, and multiple resources, human and materials, to bring a concept to construction.